Hello everyone and welcome to the Zoom workshop arranged by the Candidate Evaluation Committee from the Council of Homeopathic Certification. I am Sheetal Tiwari, President of the CHC, and I am joined by Dorothy Simoni, our past Vice President, Susanna Galley, Chair of the Candidate Evaluation Committee, and Samantha Conboy, the past President of the CHC. So, aren't you all as excited as we are for the new limited time opportunity to pre qualify for the CHC exam? It has been a year-long project for the CHC to work on this program. As a part of our mission to advance the homeopathic profession in North America, we certify individuals who meet and maintain a recognized standard of professional and ethical competency in classical homeopathy. And so we have broadened the criteria to pre-qualify for our October 2021 exam. We are here and ready to invite you to take the benefit of this program and get certified. CHC differs from any other organizations in this country because it is the one and only accredited organization in this industry to be validated by the National Center of Accrediting Agency, also known as the NCCA. We achieved this milestone in the year 2017. And now, as we certify graduates and build their credibility within the homeopathic profession, it is this NCCA stamp on the CCH credentials that equates homeopathy with other certified healthcare professions. The NCCA accreditation has been instrumental in helping integrate the CHC certified homeopaths into mainstream integrative healthcare. I can talk for hours on how getting certified will benefit you as a practitioner, yet I believe that everyone who enrolled for this program is already aware how getting certified will change their business, especially in today's digitalized world. So let us see who can apply for this program. You all have the form which was sent out to you from the CHC office. And when you look at the form, you will find the various pathway that we have created to pre-qualify for our exam. Now, under our regular exam eligibility requirements, it has been in effect since 2018. And we understand that there are also schools that have chosen not to get ACHINA or CHO approved, and they too offer robust programs. Therefore, the board of directors proposed this opportunity on a pilot basis to allow graduates to sit for our exam who have 1,000 hours of training from non-accredited school, provided that their curriculum meets the requirement outlined by ACHINA's Standard 8. They must also have completed one college level equivalent course in anatomy and physiology, one college level equivalent course in human pathology. So now if you see yourself as one of the 2019 or prior graduate from a school which did not opt to get accredited but has 1,000 hours of training, or if you are a professional who graduated long back and have 500 hours of foundational training coming from different school you might have attended along the course of time, and you have the 500 hours of clinical training coming from clinical supervision or from your own clinical practice, it's time for you to appear for the CHC exam. Isn't that amazing? So let's see that 5 pathways we created. The first one is for you when you are coming from a 1,000 hours program and have a transcript to verify it. The second program, the second pathway will resonate with you when you are from a 750-hour program, which has 500 hours foundation and 250 hours of clinical training with transcripts to verify them. Yet you don't have the remaining 250 hours of clinical training. Good news, CHC will accept documentation from your own practice. But what if you don't have enough cases to document from your own practice? In our third pathway, You can document 250 hours of verified observation. And for the additional 250 hours, please submit supervised clinical practice from a CHC certified supervisor or even any equivalently certified or licensed homeopath from anywhere in the world. The supervision needs to be logged and signed in a case log form. Now, talking about the fourth pathway, it's for someone who has 500 hours of foundational training with transcripts, and they can submit 250 hours of verified observation and remaining 250 hours from their own practice. And lastly, if you are a professional with clinical practice, yet you don't have any of the clinical training which is transcripted, and if you have foundational training in homeopathy, we encourage you to submit cases from your own practice to complete the 500 hours. So now, as you know the various pathway, let me tell you how to document everything. For the 500 hours foundation, we encourage everyone to submit the transcripts from the school or programs attended. Please give all the details possible for us to understand the school curriculum. You can submit, you can even submit the school catalog so that we know what was included in your training. The more information we get, it will increase your chance for approval from our evaluators. Now, the clinical training has two parts, 250 hours of clinical observation and 250 hours of clinical analysis. Now, for this, you can submit the transcripts or you can submit case log, which is signed by a CHC certified supervisor, or case log, which is signed by any licensed homeopath. Again, we encourage everyone to write down the details of what was the role assigned to you or what was the process of your clinical supervision and get it signed by your supervisor. When you are documenting cases from your own work, we just need 1 or 2 pages of your case notes with the client's name removed. It can be handwritten or it can be typed. We are just looking for proof that you have enough experience seeing clients. And we are not judging your outcome or how beautifully you write down the whole case. So for one case, you get 10 hours and each follow-up counts for 2 credits. And now Samantha Conboy will show you how to fill the case log and the application. Thank you.
I'll skip down to the case log that you mentioned, Sheetal, and we can go back and talk about the other things if we have time. So this case notes log, we will send this out to you guys so you'll have your own Word or PDF, probably a Word documentation so you can add pages if you need to. So we'd like to see the date. And Dorothy, if you have anything to add, please jump in while I'm going through this because I know we've been working on this together. The date of the case, a case ID. So we don't want to know anybody's names, but you can do initials or you can give them a number, some sort of way to identify the case. The main complaint, if the case is an initial case or the follow-up, so put an I for initial and F for follow-up. How many hours? So as Sheetal mentioned, an initial case would be 10, a follow-up case would be 2. And then this column here is for the committee to tabulate hours and or make notes. So you can log all the different cases if you are short in some of your clinical training and count that towards the clinical training hours requirements. And then it can just go on. If you need several pages, you can either make a copy or if it's in a Word format, you can just keep adding rows to the table. The other thing I'll just briefly talk about is, we can also send this to you as just like a sample transcript. Most of your schools should have transcripts, but we're looking for some specific details, the school name and address, your name, the date it was issued, and then just information on hours completed, as well as if there were any sort of examination, either percentage in passing or in any sort of documentation like that. We also need to have it signed by the director of the school. And then if you're looking for sample course descriptions, I know some people went to school a long time ago, so there may not be official transcripts and things like that, but we'd also like to see sample course descriptions, or if you have a course outline or syllabus from when you were in school, or even the list of required books. That'll give us an idea to make sure that your training is going to be in line. We want you to be as successful as possible in passing the exam. So we want to make sure that your training is in line with what the exam tests, so that, you know, we're not, you know, saying, sure, you can take the exam, but you didn't study anything that's going to, you know, make sense. So that's why the list of required books can be helpful. And then we're back to the case notes. Any questions I can answer? Again, we'll be sending this out to you guys, so you have a copy that you can use or reference.
If we had a clinics in school, do we still need to subscribe the cases we would take, like case notes?
Yeah.
Or it's just enough to have a transcript?
I think it's enough to have a transcript, assuming you have those hours. The case notes is more for if you only had, you know, 250 or 360 hours in school. So if you're short from your schooling, that's where the case notes log comes in. And I don't know if in school you did any sort of clinical training log, but you can always submit that. And we do have that on our website as well.
Okay. And another question is about foundational hours. We had foundational hours in class and list of literature, and we were doing the like really large homeworks and doing a lot of remedies on our own, which was discussed in class. So the hours which we were spending for homework, are they calculated as the foundational hours or no?
I'm going to ask the committee what to weigh in on that one. Are homework hours a part of foundational?
Well, generally, if it's a tricky one. If homework is somehow part of the curriculum, it should be included in the transcript. It's not.
I think she included. Yeah, I think she included in transcript the official hours we spent in class. So no homework hours added to that. I can present, for example, the schedules for the years we were studying for 4 years, with like hours we spent in class, and also the homework and we have all the logs of my homeworks, all remedies of all kingdoms I've done, so I can submit that as well.
Well, you can submit it. Generally, at least in college classes, the only hours that count are the hours you spend in class, and then you're expected to study outside of class. So, I mean, the committee can take a look at it, but generally homework is not considered part of the class hours, but we can look at it.
I have a question, Julia. Was there any evaluation of that homework? Was there any formal evaluation of the homework as passed or completed?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
And did it count as?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that
yes.
is what we looked at. Yes.
So, for example, like for summer, we had to write all like planned family remedies, and I have this homework, and I have it signed. But at the same time, I have it in electronic format, so I can present it. And also another thing, during the 4 years I was attending the school, I attended a lot of seminars for a lot of seminar presentations. So I have much more than 500 hours of seminars during my school years. But at the same time, my transcript says that there is 350 foundational hours. So, but she included, the director of our school included my seminar hours in the transcript. So
and was your school in the United States?
Yeah, it was in New York. Yeah, it was in New York. It was New York School of Homeopathy, yes.
Well, submit what you have.
Okay.
You know, we'll take a look at it. I mean, we're really looking for 500 hours of foundation. So, you know, if you've done other things beyond that, then I would, and you have them documented, then submit them.
But I think it's part of foundation because it was included there on the
Okay.
seminar. We was looking at the cases, and we were looking at cases for like foundation remedies, like for that remedies which are required by the exam as well. So other than methodology and other than cases, it was also learning for the foundation remedies. Okay.
So the whole completion necessary to pass the course?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Was completion of the homework necessary to get credit for
Absolutely.
the course?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. We had to, in order, I have a diploma of the school, and the requirement for the diploma was to complete all the homeworks for 4 years, then to have 5 supervised cases, then to complete comprehensive exam, which included philosophy and also 200 foundation remedies, which I did for 80%, more than 80%, and I have a document which states that I did.
Well, I think, you know, the only thing I can suggest is that you submit everything that you have, and we'll look at the total picture, because it's very
Okay.
hard to answer that right now with no documentation or what, you know, we don't really know what we're looking at. So submit it.
Okay, another question, like I saw the form which was sent to me previously, which you can download the documents, but they have much more than just, you know, the short form to fill out. I have Google Doc with all of my homeworks for 4 years, with a directory of all the cases we were taking in class, including the analysis, and with all the learning materials about philosophy and stuff. And I can just share these directories with you. Is it going to be essential? Because I don't think I can put all of this material on the form.
Sam, that's a question for you. Sam?
Yeah, I'm
Can we
thinking.
download something directly from Google Docs or something?
Yeah, we
Oh,
would be
it's
able
like
to.
when I share, you can just access my Google
Mhm.
Doc and see what's there. That's
Yeah,
it.
I think that would be okay. We just want to make sure that the committee members can follow everything that you're sending in. I would just make sure your name is on everything.
Right,
then-
okay.
Yep.
I need to know who to share it with. You know how if you have Google Doc.
Yeah, I
you
would
can
share it with
send it-
Melissa from the office.
Uh-huh.
So she's up there in the CHC box. Her email is chcinfo
Okay.
at
Yeah,
homeopathic.
I know who email.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do
so
know.
send it to Melissa and she'll get it to the right people.
Okay, great.
Yep. Thanks, Julia.
Thank
I
you.
have a question. The 500 foundational hours don't include any kind of, I understand that anatomy and pathology are in addition. The 500 foundational hours don't include anything like, you know, what I learned in nursing school or a doctor's license or anything like, it's just homeopathy study.
Yes, just
correct?
homeopathy.
Okay, okay. And on the cases, would you take pets or it has to be humans? Did a lot of animal stuff.
I think
Well, we could
humans,
probably
yeah.
take a few animals. I
Oh,
don't,
okay.
I
Yeah,
don't-
it's up to the committee.
Yeah,
Okay.
typically in CHC has not accepted animal cases.
Okay.
But maybe if you have a few,
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just
Yeah, I would also.
one of the people on the
some
committee.
human cases. Yeah, if you also have some human cases, then we will look at the methodology and so forth.
Yeah, I have a question. So I'm in the middle of APNP class with Will Taylor. I don't know if I can finish it by October. Am I still qualified? Can you like hold on to my certificate until I complete my APNP? Is that possible? Or I have to finish my APNP by October or before, because I'm still in the middle of it.
I think you're going to need to have it completed before, just because there are questions on the exam that you're going to, yeah, it would put you at a disadvantage to not have that class completed prior to taking the exam.
Yeah, in that
Yeah.
way, then I don't think I will be qualified then. It
Is
would
there any
you-
way, is there any way to speed up that process, or is it a scheduled class? I mean, is it an online class?
I can do it, but it will not be easy. I think I can speed it up. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, if you can speed it up, because I think it's an online class, isn't it? That you
It is
can-
online class. Yeah. Yeah. I can, I was just hoping that, I don't have to because
No,
I have to do both the exam, the boot camp,
Right,
and the APNP. I would be like bursting,
yes,
like
well,
killing myself.
It'll be fresh in your mind. You'll like whip through all of the anatomy and the health
I just
sciences.
don't know if I can do both of them at
I
the same time.
understand.
That was what I was
Yeah.
hoping, that I had some, time.
And
Thank
You
so
know, with some extra motivation and homeopathic support, you may be able to do it.
I know what remedies to take, but still,
Great,
will be a
good
crazy.
for you.
But I was just wondering one thing, like this pathway we have open only for people who have completed their training before 2019.
Yeah, I am a 2019. I graduate on 2019, so
Okay.
I am qualified. Right? Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Hi,
I have a
this is
question.
Jake. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
My situation is a little different. I'm a physician pediatrician, has been in practice, but I practice only a little bit of homeopathy here and there. I completed my course 20 years ago with the New England School of Homeopathy, but their certification is only for 240 hours. I did have homework and all, that's not included. What we had is more a foundation course with a demonstration of cases, but we didn't have a supervised clinical experience. But I did practice in my pediatric practice. I moved, but I found the cases, case histories may have 10 or 12 or 15 cases. And I don't know whether I would qualify because the number of hours. I have attended many conferences which may amount to 100 to 150 hours. So 240 plus even 150 will not add up 500 hours. And I don't know whether I would qualify, even apply, because it doesn't add up the number.
well, we
What
Is
about
are
your
looking,
cases, your cases of homeopathy in your pediatric practice?
Yeah, I'm a pediatric regular allopathic conventional practice. I saw some cases, and where I was practicing, people are not open to homeopathy or complementary medicine. Only a few cases and that too, I moved from upstate New York to Maryland. So I thought I lost the cases, but I kept some. I was digging through and I found those cases. It may amount to 12 cases or 14 cases. That's all I have. Case history, type 1. But the number of hours don't count. I have 240, plus I may have 150 hours from JHC meeting and other conferences. I attended, which will amount to 400 hours, plus my case histories. That's all I have, and which will not qualify from what you are presenting. So,
I'm in the same boat. So if we do our 100 hours now, we no longer, we're certified before 2019. So we miss this opportunity. Because I
I
need
don't
about
have-
100 more hours too.
yeah, I don't have those hours.
Right.
And when I went to school in New England of homeopathy, they said all the homework will be counted, but it was not when I got the certificate. So they gave me only 240 hours. And there was no clinical supervision of cases. So they only demonstrated cases. And so I'm stuck there. I don't have the enough number of hours. So I just wanted to know whether not even apply, if I don't have the number of hours. The second question I have, this boot camp, can I attend even if I don't take the exam?
Yes, you can. The
Yes, I can.
the CHC prep course, anybody can join.
Anybody can join.
Yeah.
Do you know how much it costs? Any idea?
$650.
$650. For Hub, there is a $500 discount or something.
I
Is
don't
that
know.
right? That's what the Hub said. There is a $100 discount,
There might be
Uh,
different courses. I'm talking specifically, it's called CHC prep.
The Hub sent me saying that is the boot camp thing.
Okay,
And
maybe it
they'll
might be
get-
different.
It might be different.
Mhm.
Yes. So I was wondering, maybe I can go back and apply for ABHD, for physicians, where they require only 300 hours. And I didn't have the case histories. Now I found the case histories. They don't need 1,000 hours. Does it,
What is
anybody?
it? What is it? Remind me, please, for those of you who know.
You're very hard to
Um,
hear. Dr.
I'm
Susanna,
not-
you're very
Can
hard to
you
hear.
Can you hear me now?
That's
Can you
better.
hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes,
Can you hear me
yes.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just put up the volume. That's all I did. Yes, thanks for telling me. I was thinking, and you say you're a nurse?
I am.
Yes. So for somebody who is a nurse or a physician, obviously there is a core life sciences training.
Right.
Is that considered as part? Because if that is considered as part of the core hours, maybe we need to discuss what that would be in consideration to those people that come with the health professions and are licensed to practice those professions.
Right. The same
Okay.
thing would be for Padmini. Yeah, she's a doctor. Yeah. Mhm.
That's, both,
Yeah.
for a medical doctor and for a
Mhm.
nurse.
Yeah, that will be good. I have 40 years of pediatric practice, and I'm planning to start my homeopathic practice because I retired from conventional. I can practice without the certification, but I thought it'll be good. It's a boost before I start my practice. So
That's an excellent idea.
that's why I was
Some of us
interested when I.
Some of us who did not need the certification also went for the CHC because we thought it was a very important way to validate the specialty and the profession.
Yeah. That's why I'm interested. Thank you. So you would let us know whether those who are in medical profession will get some extra credits. Is that right?
Well, generally, the people who come from a medical background have the 2 health science courses that they
Mhm.
take
Mhm.
that are
Mhm.
required. And generally, those courses are up over and above the 1,000 hours. I mean, I think traditionally how they have been handled. So you don't have, you know, if you come with those courses under your belt already, you have them. It doesn't even matter, I believe, how old they are. If you've had them at some point in your career, you're good.
So how does it, what would be the requirement to take the exam then?
Well,
Are we,
it's the 1,000 hours. I mean, we're looking for people who've had 1,000 hours of clinic and foundation work. I mean, that's the basic bottom line of what the CAP is currently feeling is adequate preparation to take the
so
exam.
then we don't qualify then?
Nope. Okay.
It sounds like you don't. I mean, I'm very sorry, but it just, if you had more clinical experience, you could kind of maybe offset some of the foundation hours with clinical experience, but it sounds as if you're short in both categories. So I don't know how you're going to get 1,000 hours.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I'm not that, I just want to know before
Right.
sending my application, if I don't qualify, I don't
And
bother about it.
it sounds as if you may do better going through the medical side of that verifies for MDs. I believe there's a homeopathic certification for MDs.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Right.
It's American Board of Homeotherapeutics. I was told it was 300 hours and 10 cases, chronic cases.
Okay. Well,
So I might,
but
that's
it sounds
what,
like you're closer to that than you are to meeting the CAP.
it sounds like that. Thank you.
Let me ask you one more question. Let me ask you one more question. Do you have any way to document the homework at the New England school for which you did not get credit, for which you did not get credit hours? Do you have any way to document that homework?
See, I have the whole notes, you know, every time we attended the school, this was the in-person school hours. I attended every other month for 2 years, for 4 days each time. And we were asked to write homework, and I have the entire homework handwritten. So, but they told us that we'll get a credit, but we didn't.
You have documentation of the homework that you did.
Yeah, I got a whole binder full of homework.
And can you estimate how many hours that is?
I don't know the number of hours, but we are asked to write up, you know, all about Materia Medica, you know, about the different remedies and things like that.
Can you estimate? Do you have a log, and can you estimate the number of hours?
Maybe it will be a guesswork. It could be 200 hours or whatever, you know, it's the same amount of time I was in the classroom. So,
but the clinic is not there either. I mean, it sounds like you're short on both sides. So
yeah, the clinic we didn't have a supervised clinic. It was only they demonstrated cases, you know, in person and in simulation. So
I have a question for you. Is there any online courses which can be counted for foundation hours?
You can certainly apply to a school and they will do an assessment. And they will put you in a course that is commensurate with your level of achievement and your academic progress. So yes, you can do that. You can apply to a school and you know, finish up your foundation if you didn't have the full hours.
I am basically asking about existing online programs, not school. Like, for example, there is Vitacos online course. There is also Will Taylor course, for example, for plant remedies. Can they be calculated towards the foundation hours? Or there is any specific courses you prefer, which would definitely be calculated in.
Most of the schools now have an online option, I believe.
Huh?
So you could finish up your foundations through probably almost any school if they're, you know, if they are willing to assess where you are and then put you in an online course.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah,
Will
no.
Taylor, I think those courses, the Vitulkas course, I think is, I don't know, but I think they're sort of a self-contained
Right.
program. You know, they're
Right.
not, I don't know that they're set up in a way that they can assess where you are and then put you in.
No, but it's existing program. But I feel myself very strongly because I went in my school and on my own through any possible groups of remedies, you know, and I really learned it deeply. So I feel like for myself that for me it's a waste of time if I go to another school and spend another hours just to get certified. So I wouldn't do that. I prefer to use what I have already because I really feel I have enough.
I hope that's helpful for you, Julia. And we have Monica. Monica has raised her hand. And if anyone else wants to ask any question, I will encourage you to, you know, raise hand and we can take it one at a time.
I think Jake wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I asked the question.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I think my question is fairly straightforward. I've been in practice since 1997. I've been also teaching and doing mentoring and supervising. Does it make, over that period of time, does it make sense for me to try to document my hours as an instructor or a supervisor as a mentor for these purposes, or should I just do it from the other end where hours I spent in the classroom as a student?
I would certainly start from your classroom hours as a student. And the cases, if you didn't have supervision, the cases that you have done in your practice.
Okay, yeah, I don't have any question about. I mean, I've been in practice since 1997, and I've done, you know, 6 years of classroom, and so I'm not concerned about hours, but I'm just worried about if that documentation is useful or not really. I just don't even bother trying to add up the work as a teacher.
It depends if you're short.
Okay. So add up, so you're saying add up my classroom hours first, add up what's looking like my clinic hours, and then if it looks like I'm short, then we'll talk.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Monica, you have, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So is this like a one-time only opportunity? Because, so is there like, so the exam is in October and that's it?
This is a pilot exam which we are doing. So that's why we have, you know, advertised it like a limited time opportunity, not a one-time opportunity. So after the outcome of this exam, we will be able to decide, do we need to, you know, continue it or we need to stop. So that's why this is the right time, you know, for you to get certified, because it's uncertain that we will continue with this or no.
Yeah, but I mean, for me personally, this is a little short notice. I mean, there's no way I can get all the stuff in, finish a pathology, physiology course. I just don't have the time. I mean, for me, this is, so that's why I'm like, is there other opportunities or is this just it?
So as I said, you know, it's a limited time opportunity. Might be we will continue with this in April, but at this time, we can't say it for sure. You know, we need to see how the outcome is there with allowing non-Achina's approved student graduates to take the exam. So it depends on the outcome of this October 2021 exam that we will carry it for the next year or we won't.
Okay, thank you.
And then I guess I still don't understand if someone like Monica and I are finishing up our hours. We haven't met the cutoff of 2019. If I have 300 hours now, but I'm short 200, we had to complete it by 2019. So we're really out of this whole thing anyways.
So if Dorothy, am I right? Like if they have some, hour which was prior to 2019, like if you have 300 hours which was prior to
Right,
2019, you
Mhm.
want to complete the remaining 200 hours, I think we will allow such.
I think so.
we will allow it.
Because you basically finished up before 2019, right?
Mhm.
And now you're augmenting what you did?
I still need probably more cases and maybe 150 hours, something like that. So,
And how are you going to get that 150 hours?
believe me, I just started looking into this CHC, so,
Okay,
you know,
all right,
I'm a square one on that part.
okay.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, I think if you basically finished before 219 and you're augmenting it now,
Okay, thank you.
yes, I think we would accept that because
Okay.
you're working
Yeah.
towards meeting the requirement and you really kind of finished in 2019 or before.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would also like to add in here, so for someone who will, if you submit all the documents and everything and our committee will evaluate it, we are asking for a $150 fees for this evaluation process. And if you are approved, you will get a letter and you can just go ahead and take our exam. But if during the evaluation process, we find like, okay, you are not completing the requirement which is there, we will give you a form which will mention like which are the competences which you are lacking on, and you can then you can come back to us if we continue this process for next year. We can just, if you fill those competency, we can accept we can accept you as a candidate again. And at that time, you don't need to pay the whole 150-hour fees. We will just ask for the half amount.
I have a question. Chantal. I started already filling the form up, but I need to add the documents, so I can just come back to the form and add to it. Okay.
Yeah. So we have the deadline of 30th August to submit the complete application, and we encourage everyone to get the application in as early as possible, because our evaluators will need time to evaluate everything. And if something here and there is lacking, and if they ask for some documents, you should have that time to get things in. So I encourage everyone to start in the application as early as possible.
So we have time till August 30th to finish completing the applications.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the last deadline.
If you can present it before, we would appreciate, because otherwise there's a last minute rush.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jake asked when and where are the tests? The test. Where do you take the test? Let's say you got passes. Is that what you're asking, Jake?
I was wondering if I just, the only time I've looked is during the pandemic period when it was online. And so I'm not aware if when the October dates are. Is it a set date, or just in terms of me being able to clear my calendar, if there's a set testing range of dates or dates?
Yeah. So once we open the registration, we will be opening on 2nd of August, and you will get a slot which you can book starting from August, and it will run the whole starting from October, and the exam will run for the whole month.
Okay.
Any date in between.
Okay, thank you.
I've heard it's 9 hours long. Is that correct?
No,
Okay. The rumors in the mill.
Is it an online test or
It-
it should be?
it's online, multiple choice. I believe it's 4 hours.
Mhm. Does it include in the case taking or it's just?
Well, you go to the website and you will,
Okay.
there's a list of the domains and statements. And
Mhm.
those statements cover all the content that will be covered on the exam. There is nothing on the exam that is not addressed in those statements.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for
Yeah,
asking.
so
because I just-
go to the website and there's lots of information. There's also the references that we use. Those are the only references that we use to design the exam. So there's lots of information there that should give you a good idea about what is covered on the exam.
Okay, thank you.
I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yeah, and just, to continue this talk, like as we are doing this workshop and we just at CHC, we just try to, get all the rumors out. That's why we just communicate with everyone directly. And as this workshop we are doing for the application, we also do a workshop which is specifically for exam registrations. So once you qualify, once you are ready for the application, and you can also attend that workshop, which will be anytime somewhere in August, where we will host and we will answer questions regarding the actual exam registration.
I have a question. This is a pilot exam. What way is it different from the original requirement? Was it much higher?
No, even our original requirement was 1,000 hours, but it should come only from an Achina accredited school. We were not accepting from other school. So it is, we call it as a pilot program because we are accepting candidates who are coming from, even non-Achina school.
Okay. When you say foundation course, is it theory part of it? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
It's more theory. Okay. And you said we can attend the prep course, even if you don't qualify to take the exam. Am I right?
Actually, we can't communicate anything regarding the prep course. So
is it done by you, by your?
We are not doing that. It is a third party who does it. We don't don't conduct any of the prep course.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? I see some of the questions in chat.
Yeah, I just want to make sure if I'm correct with all the exam fee.
Okay. Yeah. So the exam fee is $500. So we will be sending out a new, a new email to everyone that there is a chance that we will be reducing this fee for this exam only for this October 2021 exam. So it will be somewhere around $350 if you take in October. So that is again a good saving where we,
additional bonus.
End up paying the same $500 when you apply. So it is not any additional cost when you see paying for the evaluation.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are a non-profit organization. We are working towards, advancing the profession. That's why we keep everything.
Thank you.
Any other question?
I just have a request, which is that I'm hard of hearing. And so if people aren't speaking, I'm going to ask if they would please go on mute so I can not have as much background noise.
Okay. So are any of the exam parts open book? No.
And there are no books or materials allowed. Way back when, when the exam was not multiple choice, you could bring materia medica and your computer and all of that kind of thing. This is totally no books, no notes, no outside materials at all. It's all multiple choice.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if you have an outline for supervisors, any kind of, like, they're supposed to be CHC designated, but do you have any other kind of guidelines for the supervisors?
So the supervisors can be anyone who is a licensed homeopathic practitioner. So even a BHMS can be a supervisor. So if they have some sort of thing in their country or some certification, we will accept the supervision.
Besides that, is there any other guidelines or outline?
Well, the naturopaths, DHAMP, have a homeopathic designation. They're good. It's listed on the website.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I guess
all of
I'm
the
not
ones.
asking about their designations, but the person that offered to supervise me, she has all those designations, but she's like, you know, is there an outline or a guideline that they want me to follow in supervising your cases?
No, other than, you know.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you could look at the domains and statements, because there's a section on case taking, there's a section on case analysis, there's a section on posology, there's a section on follow-up and case management. So that will give you some pretty good ideas about the kinds of things that we're looking for in, you know, at least in the examination. And so if she's supervising, that would be kind of a guideline for her or him.
Okay. Dorothy, domains and what?
Statements.
Statements. Okay.
So go to
thank
the
you.
CHC website and look
Okay.
under exam and then resources, and it'll be there.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's really your blueprint for the exam, because that really tells you what is on the exam and what things that the profession is looking for in terms of competency for somebody entering the profession.
I have a question. Like, for example, one of the requirement is not on our curriculum, on our school's catalog, but then later on, we attend a seminar like Miranda Castro was doing the ethics and things separately. So if I can prove that I attend that, you know, seminar, would that count as that I'm fulfilling the requirement?
Send it along. Send it along.
Send it along. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So we have one more question here, is that what is the passing grade for exam? Dorothy, do you want to answer this?
Well, after the exam is set up, there is a cut score that is established between looking at how people did on the exam, and also there's all a psychometrician evaluation, and there's a committee that meets and they look over the exam and the questions, and they kind of come to an agreement about what the cut score or the passing score is. So since this is going to be a new version of the exam, we don't have that cut score set, and it will be set after everybody takes this October exam, because there was a new job analysis done which changed the exam domains and statements a little bit, and so it changes the exam a little bit. There's different questions and some different categories, so that passing score will be determined after this exam, this October exam, because it's basically a new exam. So we can't use the cut score that's been on previous versions of the exam. So it is to be determined. And it takes that part of the reason that we've reduced the fee a little bit on this exam is that it takes, 6 weeks or 2 months maybe to get that cut score set, because the psychometrician has to do all their data analysis. We have to get a committee of subject matter experts together. They have to look at the exam. So that all takes time before we can actually tell people whether or not they've passed the exam. So it is a little bit of a process when we're putting in a new version of an exam. And then once that exam, that first exam is set, then other versions of the exam, they do what's called equating, and they equate the score based on how people did. So every test, every version of the exam the cut score is maybe a little bit different in terms of the psychometrician's evaluation of, you know, whether the exam is harder or how people did or all that kind of thing. So it all comes down to numbers.
Exactly. So are there any other questions? Okay, so there is one question like where I can get the form. So I hope everyone has received the form from the CHC info mail, and the link is working for everyone. Okay, that's great. So I think that was really helpful for everyone. And
Thank you.
And if you have any other questions, you can write us on the CHC executive email, and we are happy to, you know, help you with any other questions you might have.
Will you just throw into the chat the preferred email address for any inquiries about this specific exam?
Okay, I will put it in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you, Sheetal and everyone else. Very helpful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see
Bye-bye.
hope to
Thank
see
you.
your
Thank you.
application soon.
Yeah.
Thank-
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.